Hi, this is Christy from Life Struggles, and today I have a very, very, very special guest that I've been waiting to talk to. I know you guys have too, because I've kind of told little secrets here and there that it would be coming up. I want you all to help welcome Hailey Mia. Is it Mia or Maya?
It's Mia.
It's Mia. Thank you. Hi.
How are you?
Good. You look so good. So
Thank you.
I'm super excited about this.
Me
Um,
too.
so, so first of all, how's it feel to be home?
Feels amazing, being with my family and, finally just, being home and feeling that energy is like probably the best thing like for me right now, after being gone for so long and just having that, it's been just amazing.
So, have you kept contact with any of your new friends?
Yes, yes, I have. I don't text them like on a daily, but I do text them ever so often to ask about, possibly upcoming music and anything I have questions on related to music, or if I needed to get in the studio, I know that they would always be there for me.
Okay. So, I understand you had a voice coach the other night. Was it last night or the night before? Night before.
Yes, I did have a vocal lesson last night.
So, is that something new that you've started?
No, I've been taking vocal lessons ever since I was about 8 years old. My mom put me in lessons in New York City when I was 8 because she saw something in me. And ever since I was like 10, I had been going to those vocal lessons like religiously. But then when I was about 10, I kind of stopped and I took a break. But that's basically the gist. And like I last night was my first vocal lesson in a long time and it was really fun.
Was it fun?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, since you've been home, is there anything up and coming?
Um, ooh, yeah, there is. I have
Are
some,
you able to tell?
no, but I can give hint,
No.
maybe possibly new music, maybe.
So hopefully somebody's writing some songs for you.
Yeah, maybe, hopefully.
Oh, that sounds so cool. How did you like Kelly as voice instructor
She
or
was
as a coach?
amazing. She was the most down to earth person I had probably ever met in my life, and she was very chill. Like you wouldn't even think like she is like who she is. Like when people look at a famous person, they look at them as a famous person, and they
Right.
they tend to dehumanize celebrities. But being with her, like just singing with her, just talking with her, you feel so comfortable, and she was just amazing as a critic, as a friend, as a coach, and I'm so grateful to have had her and to have worked with her.
I watched her actually win when she was.
So did my mom.
Oh my gosh, and she's just been like one of my favorite. I love Blake too. I love Blake too. I love them all, but I, you know, I really wished the Jonas, what was his name that was a coach last year?
Nick Jonas.
Nick. I wish he would have stayed. I thought he was a really good coach.
He was
Like,
very.
like he seemed to me when he went in the back and he coached with somebody that he like was really into that person and totally looked at things differently than other people did. But anyway, that's all over and done with. And Kelly, I need to start watching her show, but I'm not home during the day, so I have to find out what channel it's on and tape her because I love her
Yeah.
to death. And I go back and like listen. Like last night, since I couldn't get you,
Yeah.
I went back and watched you guys sing. So would you tell me, like, of all the songs that you sang during The Voice, which was your absolutely favorite?
That's a hard question.
I had them all written down. I knew my favorite.
I think my favorite was probably was probably Elastic Heart, only
Yes.
because I, at the time I was struggling with a death in the family,
Oh, I'm
and and
sorry.
it was my first like time experiencing that. So having been able to do something that I loved, and in the back of my mind dedicate a song to my grandmother who passed away, was probably the best thing that I could have ever done. And that's why I was so emotional. And I don't think many people know that. I did say it on the show, but I don't think they aired that part. Um,
No, because
only
I'm telling you what, I taped and replayed if I could, if I couldn't be at home to watch it. And then I usually watched them like 2 times. I don't know.
yeah. Um, so that's why I was very like emotional during that performance. And I but that vocally, that was definitely my favorite performance, and my outfit was amazing, the staging was amazing, and
Yeah,
I thought it was just probably my favorite, and if not my best performance.
I thought so too. That's why I went, yes, because that's the one I picked. I really liked um, to watch you grow. Um, your voice, I felt was like the best from the beginning. Just
Oh,
I just can't imagine. I think you were still 13 when it started, right?
it was.
But you're so mature, first of all, for your um, but your voice is absolutely amazing. And I didn't think it was going to get any better, but it did. The biggest part I saw, me, was you letting loose and just letting your emotions take over on the stage.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's something that a coach says to somebody or not, but like, so at the very end, when you were singing with Kelly, like you were just so comfortable. And it was so much fun to watch that. Like I could watch that over and
Thank
over
you.
again.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. So what about when you sing the song from Peter Pan?
That was definitely on like all of my performances I can say were my favorite, because people don't realize how much time and effort and blood and sweat and tears go into literally every single one of those performances. But a lot goes into them, and they're all my favorite, but Peter Pan was one of the ones where it stuck out to me the most, because it was challenge week when I sang that song, and it was a pop country song, and it was out of my genre. But that was probably the first time I ever felt completely comfortable on stage, and
Really?
was letting loose, and just singing my heart out. And although it was challenge week, I kind of sort of didn't really feel like it was like that, only because I had like such a I loved the song so much, and just it's such an upbeat song, which is never even like me to sing. But I just felt so comfortable, like I wanted to dance and I wanted to sing and I wanted to give a performance and just let the world hear my voice.
That's just so amazing. So I was trying to think of the name of the song. Well, first of all, I wanted to ask you, so did you get to pick out your outfits or did they pick them out for you?
It was this whole process of where in the very, very beginning, I brought a style board, and then they would try and manipulate off that style board, and we would have a rack that they picked and they went and out and shopped for. And then we would pick from that rack and we would photograph it. And then, like, the top people producers would then pick our outfits. Sometimes it would get switched. And basically that was basically the routine for like every single like round.
And and then they also like chose all the background stuff and all that kind of stuff
Yes.
too.
Yes.
That amazes me when you see it from our end watching it on television. Thankfully, we have a huge big screen, so it's
Yeah.
so much fun. But to see how well they did the designing of
Oh
the
yeah.
backgrounds to go with what you were doing, or
Okay.
any of you were
For sure.
doing. That's just crazy. So do you, I have to know this, do you get to keep any of the clothes?
I do. They're all in my closet right next to.
Yay!
Yeah, I was so excited when I found out I got to keep the clothes. They're all just there and waiting to be worn again in some sort of special event.
Oh, you'll get to be going to special events. I know you will. But there, I always wonder that, because I thought, well, because they have to make it for your size,
Yeah.
and your styles.
Yeah.
How could they not give it to you,
Yeah.
you know?
Mhm.
So, but is that only in the 10 finalists, or is that everybody up till
That's everybody pretty much.
you just pick more clothes as you go along, right?
Yeah, even in blinds, but it was only when you got eliminated was when you got to keep your clothes. Like you didn't get to pick out what clothes you wanted. Like towards the end, like literally right after the show ended, what we did is basically went shopping in the
Oh,
whole like wardrobe factory, and we got to pick out what outfits that we had worn that we wanted, or dresses or like tuxes or like whatever the guys wear, like anything that they altered to our body that physically cannot fit on somebody else's body
right,
because
right,
to our body we got to keep.
right. So, um, we got finished and you went home. Was there a big welcoming, or did they leave you alone and let you have some peace?
um I got home and I kind of, yeah, it was a very small thing. I was just with my dad and he got very emotional once he saw me for the first time after 9.5 weeks of, his life. And my brother, was so happy to see me. And my uncle was too. And it was very small, but to me it was the biggest thing because I had missed my father and my brother and my uncle and my dog so unbelievably much, because being away from them for so long after like never being away from them like at all, like once I first had to go to blinds, I was really nervous because I had never even been away from my dad for like anything over 2 days. So doing that alone was really hard, but 9 weeks is even harder.
Crazy.
So the little welcoming that we did have was very comforting, and it was very sweet, and I loved it.
So, I travel a lot of times when I go to interview people, and sometimes I'm gone 3 or 4 days. I also go to a lot of um, women business seminars, and
Yeah.
sometimes it's 5 days at a time. Um, and the whole time you're like busy and you're meeting all these new people, and you've got the schedule and everything. And I know when, I don't know, you keep the adrenaline going, and then when I get home, it's just like, and I just don't want phone calls. I don't want, I just want to feel home for just a little bit. But I find myself almost in a panic mode for a while. I don't mean like panic attacks, but just like oh my gosh, I overslept, but I didn't, you know.
Yeah.
Um, did you have anything like that? Did you have thoughts of what do I got to do today, and or were you just calm?
Um. Also, before I say this, I know we're recording right now, but I have to go at like 7:50-ish, if that's okay.
Okay, I don't know what time it is there.
It's 7:50
Oh,
here.
we got
Oh,
20 minutes.
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
Um,
So go.
um, but basically going back on topic was um I had a schedule every single day, and in lives I had a schedule, and every single day like, and every single hour of that day up until about either 9 or 10 o'clock was usually my heart out, which means I could not legally work any more hours
Right.
because of the fact that I am a minor.
Because I was going to say because of your age. Mhm.
Yeah. And I, from about, I would wake up at maybe 7 every morning, and I would have 5 hours of school, or sometimes I would have 2 hours of school. And then I would go and I would record reality, and then I would go into hair, and then I would go into makeup, and then I would go into wardrobe, and then I would go to band rehearsal. And then I would basically just a jam-packed day. And like, I had
Every
no,
single day.
yeah.
What about
And
weekends?
so weekends, I only had one day off, which was Saturday, because legally I don't think I can work any more than Monday to, mm, how many days is that? 6 days, 6 days. I couldn't work any more than 6 days. Um, so I had one day off, which was Saturday, and then Sunday, which was the next day, would be stage rehearsal, because the next day was performance day.
Sure.
So, I usually spent my Saturdays, going out and trying to enjoy like at least a little bit of normalcy before, I was performing on a huge stage the next day.
Good.
And I would just kind of either practice, or my mom would straighten my hair, or it was just like a whole big thing. And but it was amazing. And stage rehearsal was a very, very, very long day also, because you pretty much kind of have to have your hair the way you want it to look for Monday, because they have to make sure it looks good on camera, and they have to make sure your outfit looks good on camera. They have to make sure you sound good. They have to make sure the background sounds good, the band sounds good, and it's just a very long process.
Don't realize how much there is, huh?
Yeah, I feel like people kind of see, obviously, what
What's
the
shown on TV.
what yeah what's shown on TV, or what the public gives out. But every single day, like, there wasn't like a moment where I could probably like sit down for about an hour and just do nothing, unless we were really behind on our schedule, because that's how busy we were. Like, basically, I want to give you a run through the schedule that we used to have, just
Yeah.
so I can show you like how busy it was.
Okay,
So
good.
Monday's performance, hair, makeup, wardrobe, warming up, a little vocal lesson right before. We have dress rehearsal, and then it's time for show, and then we usually like record some stuff afterwards, and then the day is over. Tuesday, dress rehearsal, elimination rehearsal. We practiced our instant save songs. Um, Hair, makeup, wardrobe, and then it would be time for show, and then we would film something after show. Wednesday was band reality. So basically, we would get our songs that we were going to sing Tuesday night. So we
Okay.
had one night, and I would get home at like 9 or 10. So we had one night, or a couple hours, to learn our song, to have some sort of map and layout of it. And then in the morning, if you woke up early enough, you would also have a few more hours to learn your song, learn the layout of it. And the always like coaching with Kelly that they would show before is what that band reality was.
Okay, two questions real quick. One, did you stay close to the studio?
Um, yes, we did.
Okay.
It was fairly close. Everything was fairly close, thank
And
God.
and then the studio would be where you'd go back to rehearse, right? You didn't like rehearse in your room.
Mhm.
Okay. So you had to didn't you guys have to finagle like what time, who was doing what? Because only,
Yeah, it was all in the schedule. Like, it was a very strict, very forward schedule. Like, 9 do this, 9:30 do this,
right.
10 do this, 11 do this. It was all very straightforward. So everybody knew where they were going, and transportation was right, and you made sure you had everything, because you could, on the schedule, it could say that you're going home at, you know, 4 for a little while, and then coming back to do something, but you'd end up not going back to the hotel at all. So the break you thought you had was completely gone. So you have to be prepared every single day to be out for the entire day.
Okay. All right. So briefly on the show, when they introduced you the very first time, they told of a little bit of a struggle that you've had in your life. And I don't want to go into detail with that with you. I don't think that's a big part of this, but I think you wanted to put a message out there to people, period. And so if
Yeah.
you could just briefly give that message to people that have some kind of struggle in their life.
Yeah. So when I was little, when I was born, I was diagnosed with strabismus and a double elevator palsy in my right eye. And I struggled with it tremendously when I was little. I would constantly have eye doctor visits. I probably switched between 6 doctors in about a 3 year span, constantly getting new glasses, trying everything, and my parents doing everything in their power so I can try and regain some vision in my eye. And when I was about, I want to say in second grade, I found a very, very, very great eye specialist, and he's amazing, and he still is my eye specialist till this day. And he knew what he was doing, and right away he said we need to have surgery. So when I was in second grade, I had my eye surgery, and
So that sounds like you were probably about 7, maybe
yeah,
7 or
so
so.
so luckily I regained about, I don't know like about how much the percentage was, but I gained a lot of vision back in my right eye. Because when you have strabismus and you have double elevator palsy, once you can't sort of see out of that my right eye, your brain starts to tell your eye to start shutting off completely because it's not doing its job.
Oh, wow.
So without that surgery, I probably could have gone blind in my right eye.
Okay.
So, the surgery went extremely successful, and I regained a high amount of vision in my eye, and I was so grateful for that. And but after the surgery, obviously you're in a lot of pain, and you're struggling. And I had an eye patch on for weeks, and my mom would obviously constantly had to clean my eye, and I couldn't see for like a good amount of time, clearly at least. And singing was my way of coping and trying to get my mind off of that, the fact that I had my eye completely covered and it was swollen shut, and I was in pain because um as a little girl, you don't really want to focus on the fact that you're in pain. And you always want to do something fun because you're little and you're young and you're naive, and you want to make sure that you have something to do other than focus on what the bad things are. And
Which is what adults should be doing.
yeah, and basically, I say this to everybody, and especially to young kids, because sometimes it takes a long time for kids to mature, or in any circumstance whatsoever.
Mhm.
But my message is to young people that no matter what you're going through, first of all, treat people how you want to be treated, and that's the golden rule that everybody should live by.
Absolutely.
Second of all, if you want something, you always have to work for it, and nothing ever, ever worth doing comes easily. It's just not life. You want something, you have to work for it. And as a kid, speaking to other youthful people out there, um
And adults.
yeah, and adults, i want I want them to know that they're not alone, and they are loved, and they are appreciated, and you're here for a reason. And if no one's told you, then I love you and I appreciate you. Because for a very long time, I didn't have somebody to tell me, they love me and they appreciate me. As far as like a friend, of course, I had my parents all the
Sure.
time, always
Sure.
supporting me, but I never kind of had a friend to tell me like, oh, I'm always there for you and I'm always going to support you. But my message is to just always be yourself and never let anything or anyone affect you, and find that outlet in your life to not think about the world and just think about what this thing is that you love doing, and just always spread kindness and stay true to yourself at all times.
So basically, people need to find something that they enjoy the most and focus on that
I
when they're
believe
going
so.
through a struggle.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Because for me, at least, and not to speak for anybody, but for me, when I am going through something, I obviously nobody wants to really think about it. And either if it's late at night or early in the morning, I always kind of just drift away and put my headphones on and I forget about the world because you're in this space where you feel at home and this is your comfort. This is your everything because it's something you're passionate about. It's something that you love. Even if it's like even if music is not something you want to do, or like if it's gaming, if it's an athletic thing, if it's anything, even if it's something you really might not want to do physically, but it's something that you enjoy, watch it, listen to it, stream it, do whatever you want to do. But if it's something that you truly enjoy, don't let anybody stop you from watching it, doing it. You deserve everything that's put in front of your plate. And you just have to work for everything.
What a great message.
Thank you.
And I hope I'm sure you do know this by now, that there's many, many, many people that love you. And I mean, besides your family and people that you will probably never meet, but that saw this personality in you, that saw that you had a good message out there to give to people.
Thank
And that's
you.
why I wanted to reach out to you, because I myself help people. I'm a life coach and a counselor. Um, and my whole thing is about how people get through their struggles and how to do it.
Of course.
And I just really appreciate all the words that you've said. There are things I've said before, but hearing from a 14-year-old who seems like a 25-year-old
Thank you.
is so we're just so proud of you, and you are so loved, and
You so much.
really, really, really can't wait to see what comes next.
Thank
So I
you.
just want to wish
Excited for
you,
everybody.
like, I want to wish you all the best. Um, I hope you'll keep me posted on Instagram when you are able to, tell what you're doing.
Of course I will.
I will appreciate it. And thank your mom too. I really appreciate her keeping in touch with me and giving me another chance. And so welcome back home.
Thank you
And
so much.
good luck with your schooling. I know that's going to be hard, and your vocal lessons. And we hopefully will see you in the future.
Thank you so much. Thank you
Right.
so much for having me. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.